Hello and welcome to another round of racing here with Dark Helmet Racing League. My name is Morgan with the Cleveland Beamer Sim Sports channel, and we are at it again for another round of the Tuesday MX-5 Series, this time at Navarra. Right now, drivers are going around track for qualifying and getting ready to put in their best possible time. Looks like right now we have just about everybody with time on board. Until then, with about 4.5 minutes remaining in qualifying, we have the remainder of this series or session rather to go. Then we'll go into our first 15-minute sprint race, if you will, and then we will take a short break and have a feature race that is also 15 minutes. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the leaderboard, see how we're doing so far. Currently, Richard Hibbs leading the way at the moment with a 1:10.95. Pretty strong time from Richard, though. Brian Beeman's winding up to take him on. His best, 1:11.02. So right there, only 700ths behind. Behind Brian, we have Brandon Dooley with a 1:11.1, and there we go. Brian Beeman dropping a 1:10.78. Currently our provisional pole sitter. And looks like we have a nice little battle here. So right now we have Brian Beeman, Richard Hibbs, then Brandon Dooley, 1, 2, 3. Lots of fast people here in the grid winding up. Looks like we have, let's see, 5, 10, 15, perhaps 17 drivers out there, which we definitely like to see. Thank you all for coming out. Hopefully this should be a good one for you. Let's see if I can get eyes on some drivers. Right now I'm seeing personal bests being set by some drivers, but I do not see anybody in purple anymore. Looking at Richard Hibbs as he improves to 1:10.8. Which is a pretty solid time still. 2/10 behind, or rather 200ths behind Brian. Brandon Dooley's still sitting there with a 1:11.18. Still some personal best going in. Let's take a look at Ricky Renner here, who's lighting up my board. And Ricky, as he approaches the line here, sets another personal best. Does not improve at the moment, but that could have been an outlap. As we see Nathan Nickerson move up the board a little bit. Got a pretty close spread timing-wise. When I look at 4th through 11th, we're separated by less than half a second. Which is definitely what we want to see. Looks like everybody out there, almost everybody, has the time except Rick Wishon. What's going on with Rick? Rick is not moving either. I wonder if he's running into some technical difficulties. Unless he's just giving himself an EOL, but that remains to be seen. And Nathan Nickerson going all the way up to P3. with a 110.97. Nice lap, Nathan. All right, who else we have lapping around? Ooh, and that's going to do it for qualifying. So right now, we're going to have Brian Beeman.
All right, we got 2:15 sprints coming up. Unfortunately, there was no option for a short pace lap, so I think we have to do a full pace lap. Green flag will be on the leader or the iRacing green flag, whichever comes first. And then good luck, have fun. If this one doesn't go as planned, we do have the second feature race, another 15 minutes with the top 5 reverse grid. Good luck. Thanks for coming out.
And thank you, Brandon. So
we have to do this twice. Good luck, Brian.
Thank you, sir.
Looks like the guys have to do a full pace lap, guys and gal. But that's okay. This is a fixed setup, so thankfully you just can show up to this series, don't have to do anything special, and you can just start putting in laps. Fixed setup, and these cars are pretty resilient, so even when there are incidents, they can handle it. So taking a look at our starting order, we're going to have Brian Beeman and Richard Hibbs starting on row 1, Nathan Nickerson, Brandon Dooley on row 2, Tim Allman and Philip Scott filling out row 3, Mark Sherman and Jeff Wyatt on row 4, and Ricky Renner and Rick Moskdad rounding out the 5th row. Then going further down, we have Michael Schwartz and Josh Betts in the 6th row. And I know that's not it, but why is my grid not changing? Did I break it? Huh. Oh, you know, it would help if I hit the right item. There we go. So, where was my spot? That was 7th row. 8th row is going to be Jeff Peters and Alex Hamrick. And 9th row is going to be Rick Wishon and Nathan Nickerson. Looks like Nathan decided to give himself an EOL. Start at the back of the field. So,
I identify as a horse.
oh wait, did I leave somebody out? I feel like I left somebody out.
You're damn right you do.
Maybe I didn't. Alright, so I'm going to go to the grid, see how this is going to shape out. There we go. By the way, the commentary is a bit shit. My apologies, but we're going to get going racing. Let's take a look up front. Brian Beeman currently leading the pack into turn 1. So far, everybody looking clean. And Brian still fighting it out here with Nathan. I love how my grid tree showed Nathan in last place, because that is definitely not where he was. So right now we have Brian Beeman, Nathan Nickerson, and Rich Hibbs going 1, 2, 3, but it looks like that may change. Brian going way late on the brakes, as well as Nathan. Brian get a little better exit out of the turn here, and defending that lead. Getting scrappy out there, though. We have lots of position changes. Philip Scott managing to get up into P4. Real briefly, and then Brandon Dooley got that back. And so far, everybody doing a great job staying on track. And the gaps are super, super close. As Nathan goes in the inside for another attempt at the lead, using all the curb. Brian giving him plenty of space. And then a little bit extra. Brian's not going to have as good of a run out here because he started way on the inside. But it looks like these Miatas don't have so much acceleration that becomes a problem. And Brian doing everything he can to come back at Nathan. Richard Hibbs stuck his car there in the middle like he was thinking about going 3 wide and then thought better of it. Oh, this is good stuff. And Brian Beeman back up into the lead. Now Richard Hibbs coming up here, seeing if he can give Nathan a little bit of a challenge, and had his run cut short there by Nathan. Nathan pulling directly in front of Richard, caused him to have to check up. And away we go. This short-lived fight between Rich and Nathan's given Brian a little bit of breathing room, and Rich gets by. It's a nice little pass there. Oh no, we have a little bit of a crash in the back of the pack. Let's see what's going on there. Looks like Courtney Nickerson had a moment. Just a little bit of a slide there. Not the end of the world. Courtney will be able to keep going. Let's see what's going on with Rick. Something happened with Rick Mostad. Just lost the rear end as well. Gets a little bump from Wishon. It's okay. I love delivery. Alright, back at it. Brian Beeman still getting all the pressure up front. Richard Hibbs thinking about getting on the inside here. And Richard going for it, trying to get that run and make it stick. Ooh, this time he does. Brian using all the track though, seeing if he can get the momentum out of here. Will he have enough draft at the end of this back straight to take the fight back to Richard? Looks like Nathan is forcing him to choose a different line, so probably didn't get the best draft, but he's still right there. Nathan hard on the brakes, seeing those brakes glow the whole way down there. Ooh, and I'm seeing some more crashes happening. We'll get to those in just a moment. Richard Hibbs in P1 at the moment. Brian Beeman P2. Nathan Nickerson P3. I might take a peek here at Ricky Renner. Oh, Ricky was getting real close. Oh, and Brandon gets turned. We'll come back to that in just a moment. We have Mark Sherman making a pass here. Or rather, getting passed by Jeff Wyatt. Nice job, Jeff. All right, go back to Brian. He's getting passed currently by Nathan Nickerson, but Brian just not letting him go. Still fighting for this one. Going side by side here. Looks like Brian is going to get the position back briefly. Both super hard on the brakes. Nice seeing the brakes on the Mazda's glow here, and Brian's going to retain that spot for now. This is allowing Rich to get a little bit of the lead. Looks like he has about 4/10. Brian defending, taking that inside line. Cars behind, scattering everywhere. Looks like Mark passed Jeff Wyatt briefly, but then Jeff Wyatt got the position back at P7. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. It's hard to leave these guys with the action being so close. Side by side again. Alright, now we can breathe for a second as they're all drafting down the start-finish straight. Go under Rich real quick because looks like we have another move from Rick Wishon. Getting around Jeff Wyatt. Alright, back up front. These guys are still maintaining the status quo. Brian Beeman trying to reel back Rich Hibbs for that lead. Ooh. Nathan sending it again. Some good hard racing. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Alright, back down the front straight we go. Let's see what happened to Brandon Dooley. Alright, goes through the curb. Just car gets a little upset in the inside curbing and around it goes. That's unfortunate to see. Oh, and is Philip Scott entering the chat here? Yes, he is. Currently working on Nathan Nickerson, and right now he does have provisional P3. Nathan about to get some help, though. A nice little bump going into the hairpin here. And getting close to another run down the start-finish straight. These guys are going to be drafting again. Somebody there was using all the track. Who is that? Number 49. Wow, that was Courtney Nickerson. Looks like she's just staying out of the way. And I say she. I have not talked to Courtney, so it could be he or she. We'll have to set the record straight on that one. But saw Courtney join the league. Oh, you know what? I think there was a picture on their profile. New members. She. So, welcome to the league, Courtney. I think this is your first race with us, so glad you joined. Moving on, let's see. These guys are still scrapping it out. Philip Scott retained P3. Nathan Nickerson got a little beat up there and passed by Ricky Renner. So, Nathan currently P5. Let's take a look, see what happened to Nathan. And Ricky just a little better on the brakes that time around, and that's how he got the position. Brian getting all over Rich Hibbs. He is ready for a run here. Whoa, big crash at the middle of the pack here. Ricky Renner and Nathan Nickerson getting collected. We're going to stay with this run here to turn 1, and then we're going to check to see what happened. Not going to happen this time around. Looks like Rick Wishon got around Tim Ullman. We're going to get that replay queued up as well. All right, as we have everybody stabilizing a little bit. Let's see what in the world happened back there. Nathan just gets into the back of Renner. Just got a little too eager for a run. Yeah, that is definitely unfortunate. Let's see. Let's see Rick Wishon's pass. It's another turn 1 dive. Good stuff, just making the draft work down the start finish. Rick just driving up the field. Definitely one of our big gainers here. He's up 11 positions. Nice job, Rick. Back at the front. Ryan Beeman just trying to figure out how
Don't ask how, Brandon.
To get around Richard Hibbs. But he's reeling him in. Not wanting to do it here. He backed off a little bit. I think he's looking to get that run down the start-finish straight. Well, looks like Jeff Wyatt got around Brandon Dooley for P9. And I was going to queue that up, but Brian is making his move down the inside, turn 1. Still holding that inside for turn 2. Oh, and I think Rich was going for the switchback. And that did not quite work out. Let's take a look at that again. Alright, so Brian on the inside, then Rich switches to the inside and just tags him. That is definitely unfortunate. This is why we had these sprint races, though. He'll be able to rally and get that position back. Let's see it one more time. Yep, and yeah, it just gets tagged by Rich. It's certainly unfortunate. Let's go back to Brian. Looks like we have seen the checkered flag. These guys coming to a stop. Finishing
That
orders
was pretty intense.
going to be coming through shortly. We
Very
still have
much
drivers
so.
on track. In the meantime, let's see. Ricky getting Jeff Wyatt here.
Sorry, Brian, if that was on me.
And then Brandon Dooley getting Ricky.
I feel like maybe I
Holy
kind of came
chaos.
into you, but it was close. Who did what? Are we still doing phrasing?
And then we had another Ricky Renner incident. What happened here? Oh, and iRacing says we're going to reset to the practice session before the feature race. So I guess we'll go to the results.
Yeah, the feature's only going to be way more intense.
So shout out to Rich Hibbs getting P1, followed by Philip Scott in P2, and Rick Wishon up at least 12 positions into P3. I think he actually had more than 12 positions, but my timing data was just scrubbed due to the session change. So nice job, fellas. A lot of movers and shakers that round. Hopefully everybody sticks around for the feature. As Rick Wishon showed, you can start from the back and gain a ton of positions even in 15 minutes. So yeah, looking forward to seeing the feature race. I'm going to take a short break and we'll talk to you in a few minutes.
got 60 seconds to grid this time. 15 more minutes. Should have top 5 first grid. Green flag will be on the leader or the iRacing green flag, whichever comes first. And again, apologies for the full pace lap. Good luck, have fun, let's come out.
All right, we are back. So after the break and the reversal of the top 5, things are going to be interesting. So first row,
Nice to see you again, Heb.
we're going to have Brian Beeman and Tim Allman. Second row, Richard
Yep.
Wishon and Philip Scott.
Back
Third row,
to the
Richard
fun.
Hibbs and Mark Sherman. Fourth row, Nathan Nickerson and Brandon Dooley. Fifth row, Ricky Renner and Jeff Wyatt. And sixth row, Michael Schwartz and Josh Betts. But we are not done. We have more than that. Looking at our seventh row, we
So is
have
this when we got the big one?
Rick Moskad and Jeff Peters. And then eighth row is Alexander
As
Hambrick
long as I'm
and
not the
Nathan
target of the big one, I'm
Nickerson.
good.
You know,
Only they cornered
oh,
in
it's
P5.
Courtney Nickerson, not Nathan. Jeez. I gotta update
Good.
timing
I'll
and
just
scoring so it shows
let
everybody's
Mark
first and
kinda
last name.
accelerate
Get rid of
faster.
some of that confusion. But that's okay. We're gonna work through this. So let's take a look at these guys up front as we're getting close to going here. You know what? Let's see if I can change that name now. So I changed it to team name. Bet that fixes it. It didn't, but that's okay. Let's go to our grid here. And we're getting ready for the green. Just a couple more turns to go now. And here we go. Brian taking off, not waiting for anybody. We got a couple of mover and shakers. We have a couple of single position moves here. We'll see how it all shakes out after turn 2. So far, so good. Everybody's making it through. Some taking the real wide line. Hopefully we survive joining back together. So far, so good. Alright, something happened to Phil. Phil moving. Oh, and Jeff Wyatt died. Oh, yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah, we're going to have to come back to that. TJ Allman also looks like getting mugged back there. And unfortunately, Rick
Yeah, there it was.
Mogstad jumped to pits. It's not something we want to see. We're going to take a peek at the replay in just a moment. Right now, TJ eyeing up Ricky Renner. And Rich Hibbs also eyeing up Nathan. Rich going to take the inside there, but Nathan using all the runoff here should have more momentum coming at him. Name of the game here with these Miatas is momentum, but you know what? Richard Hibbs was able to make it work. These early cold tires. And that's going to put Rich into P3 with Rick Wishon chasing down Brian Beeman. All right, let's catch up to what in the world happened. All right, so Rick crashed here. Whoa. Ah, that's not great. Nothing Rick could do on that one. Let's see what happened ahead of him. So we have Jeff Wyatt here. Jeff having a ton of momentum and just a car, man. That is unfortunate. Looks like Mark Sherman just lost the rear. Jeff was avoiding action. Yeah, that is just wrong place, wrong time from both Rick Mogstad and Jeff Wyatt. It's unfortunate. Huh. Oh, wrong camera. That'll help. It's like, where'd my drivers go? All right, so Brian Beeman still leading with Rick Wishon chasing behind, and then Richard Hibbs bringing a train of cars with him. Oh, and who's the number 34? Josh Betts had a bit of a moment coming out of last turn, was able to gather it up. Good stuff here. Let's see if we can catch up with all the position changes we missed going through replays. Nathan Nickerson snagged P4 from Tim Allman. Nice and late on the brakes, and yeah, just makes it work on the inside. Love to see it. Looks like Courtney Nickerson. Oh, this is going back quite a ways. Got a bunch of positions in that chaos. Uh-oh, and Rich Hibbs crashed. What happened? Huh? Just too much of the loud pedal there. And then gets tagged by Nathan for good measure. And that is unfortunate. Well, that is definitely going to have championship implications. Oh no, and I see another crash. We're going to go back to that here in a moment, see what's going on with Rick Wishon and Brian Beeman. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing crashes left and right now. This is getting spicy. Alright, so Josh Betts had what the system thinks is a crash. See if we agree with that. It's not crashing. We already saw this. This is his nice save coming out of the last turn. No harm, no foul. And then what's the Rich Hibbs moment? Did they have like some netcode in here? Yeah, that's just netcode. That's not a crash. Okay. And then Ricky Renner. What's going to happen here? Also going to lose the rear end. These Miatas being a little unforgiving with the rear end. If you let it slide too much in there, they will turn around. Check back on Rick Wishon here. All over the bumper of Brian Beeman. Brian, from a championship points perspective, is doing pretty darn good. In fact, if I check my points here, I believe he is. Yes, he is. He is currently P3, fighting for the overall win here. And when I say P3, he is only 10 points behind Philip Scott. So definitely championship implications here. So liking what we're seeing here. Looks like Tim Allman must have had some kind of moment. Philip Scott got around him. And then shortly after, Brandon Dooley gets him as well. Oh, looks like a similar area of the track. Looks like these guys just carrying a little bit more speed. I think Tim's going to get the better run out here, though. Yep, that is exactly what's going to happen. These guys are probably going to be fighting for a bit. We're going to go up front, though, because Rick Wishon has taken P1, and Brian Beeman also now having to contend with Nathan Nickerson. Yeah, currently fighting to see who's going to have second place. Looks like Brian will fight it off for now. Let's see if we can find out what happened. Let's see. There it is, Rick Wishon. Yep, and it was just a drag race down to start finish here. Interesting, interesting. All right, let's get back over to the action. And oh man, we have a lot going on. I hate to go away from these guys, but let's see what happened to Jeff Wyatt. It's gonna be a nothing burger right here. Yep, just a rear end. Alright, let's move on. Then we have Philip Scott. Ooh, Philip getting into it with Courtney Nickerson. Oh, yeah, come on. That might have been a little aggressive, and you know what? I also may have been a little unkind to Phil there. Let me get a better look at what happened. Yeah, Phil was just not quite clear. Collected Courtney, or rather Pitt himself, which is not good. And then Ricky Renner. Looks like Ricky's also going to have a moment. Yep, another rear end lost in turn 2. And Courtney Nickerson. Ooh, just using all the track around there. Loops it. Not the end of the world. She should be able to get going. And that's what happened to Mark Sherman. All right. But that is all good. These things happen. Definitely not what we like to see, but we're also, you know, Courtney's new to the league, so we can definitely help her get up to speed. Let's get back to live action here at the beginning, because Nathan Nickerson says, you know what, I might want to lead this thing, and goes for the lead.
Dude, that was not fast.
Sends it out there. Let's see if we can get all of that. These guys are going to keep duking it out. Still 3 minutes remaining. Ooh. Alright. Now it's going to get real interesting because Rick had to check up a little bit so he wouldn't spin Nathan. And now Brian should have one hell of a run here. Brian choosing to play it patient, be a little more safe. Set up another beautiful run here. And Rick Wishon takes that lead back. These guys approaching lap traffic. Brian taking advantage of it, going on the inside. That's Brian up into P2. Lost a little bit of momentum, but that should be rectified here. All right, let's see what started all of this. So Nathan passes Brian here to get into P2 and then just sends it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. Good stuff. All right, let's go to... Oh, this has calmed down a little bit. Let's take a look at Brandon Dooley, who has been fighting TJ tooth and nail for P4. Brandon currently up 3 positions. Just trying to line up that run. It looks like it'll be the last lap. I see the white flag. And Brandon going for the inside. See if he can make it stick. So far, so good. And that will be P4 for now. Nice work, Brandon. Not done though. TJ's reeling in Brandon pretty quickly. Side by side as we go into the turn here. Brandon using all of the curb, which will definitely aid in rotation, but it also will slow down his acceleration a bit just with tires airborne. Gets around temporarily, but Brandon gets a better run.
Nice race, guys.
Taking a look at these guys up front, it's Rick, Brian, and Nathan, and then Brandon is going to hold off TJ for P4.
Thank you, sir.
Richard Hibbs coming across the line for P6. Definitely limiting the damage from a championship perspective. Michael Schwartz and Ricky Renner 7th and 8th. Josh Betts and JP finishing 8th and 9th. And Alexander Hamrick finishing P10. We have Jeff Wyatt finishing P12, Mark Sherman P13 with Courtney Nickerson in P14. So looks like the results are just now getting finalized. Should be able to share these shortly. There we go. So these are your final results. You know, not too
Where'd you come from, Brandon?
shabby. Not too shabby at all. Let's see. So, taking a look at what we have going on with this series. Got a lot more fun coming up. So, next race is going to be our Sunday GTD Challenge. This next race will be at Monza, which is always a crazy one. Should be a bunch of drafting like we just saw here in the MX-5 Challenge. And then MX-5 Challenge will be at Indy on 11/11. Should be a good race. So until then, that's going to do it for us here on the stream. My name's Morgan from the Cleveland Beamer Sim Sports channel. Congratulations, Rick Wishon, on the win. And we will catch you next time.